Okay, so this next section we're going to have to name 14C because we ran out of time in the last video. So 14A, B, C are all from the same set of notes on the wow signal, so you want to start at 14A, okay? So this one's called the wow SETI Galex M83 Charles Messier Catalogue Centaurus A Clusters Johannes Kepler 22b Stars Planets. It's very possible I'm going to change the title. It's going to be part 67. All the videos will be linked for you to look at. Number B is the same, almost the same, talks about that, and number A talks about the RS-232 Pearl Crypt SSL AES data. And what I found out after on line 15 what Pearl means, and it's actually the way they catalog star systems. So I thought it's kind of cool that Messier started the cataloging of the stars back in the 17th century, and he has 100 or so of them cataloged, and then here we are in line 15 of the wow signal. I find out just why that's important. Okay, so this is the wow theory that we're looking at right here. There's the numeral equation I found there, and it's 3 divided by 1 divided by 1 divided by 14 equals 0.0214. What happens is I Google stuff and things come up, and then I Google the words to find out what they mean. And this is what all this is all about. And it's all about stars and planets and all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Messier objects. We were talking about Charles Messier. And I apologize if I have his name wrong. He was a French astronomer. He's notable for publishing an astronomical catalog consisting of deep sky objects such as nebulae and star clusters. So that was in the last video. And then we talk about some of the stuff that he cataloged, comets and stars. And at the time he was getting frustrated because he was looking for comets and he kept getting these other things. He didn't know what they were, so he cataloged them just so he wouldn't go back and look at the same section again. So here's a nice little thing for you guys to do. I looked up something for you. It's called the Amateur Astronomy Information. So if you have a telescope, you probably already know about this. If you're getting one, you might want to check this out. Centaurus A is located approximately 4 degrees north of Omega Centauri, a global cluster, visible with the naked eye because the galaxy has a high surface brightness and relatively large angular size. It is an ideal target for amateur astrology observations. The bright central bulge and dark dust lane are visible even in finder scopes and large binoculars. An additional structure may be seen in larger telescopes. Centaurus A is visible to the naked eye under exceptionally good conditions. And this is what you're looking for. This huge thing here. That's what it looks like up close with the Hubble telescope. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go to is Pierre Méchain. Now he worked on the catalog with this man here, Charles Messier. The two of them cataloged the stars and the comets that they found up in the heavens. Okay, so a little bit about Pierre Méchain. He's born August 16th, 1744, and he died the 20th of September, 1804. So that's about 2 years after Messier. They were very close friends, from what I can gather. He worked at the Paris Observatory, and he's known for deep sky objects and comets. Okay? And let's see, let's go back over to here. Sorry, I'm losing my thing here. Okay, so Messier 83 is one of the star formations that they found in the catalog. If you notice, Messier is all under Charles Messier. That's what he's named after. So these are all the ones that he cataloged himself, and now we are looking at them with our telescopes. So this one's found at the right ascension of 13 hours, 37 minutes, 0.9 seconds. The declination is minus 29 degrees, 51 feet, 57 inches. Okay, and if you go to Wikipedia, you can get more about it. Messier 83 is also known as the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy, M83, or NGC 5236. If you go into Google Sky, that's the number you want to look for. NGC 5236. That's the catalog number for it on Google Sky. It is a barred spiral galaxy, approximately 15 million light years away in the constellation Hydra. It is one of the closest and brightest barred spiral galaxies in the sky, making it visible with binoculars. So you can actually stand outside and take a look at it. You have to be in the southern hemisphere or the far north hemisphere, the southern end of the north. Blech. I can't talk. Okay. The history of Pierre Méchain. He discovered M83 in 1752 at the Cape of Good Hope. Charles Messier added it to his catalogue of nebulous objects known as the Messier Catalogue in March 1781. Maybe they didn't know each other. I don't know. And on June 16, 2008, NASA's Galaxy Evolution Explorer project reported finding large numbers of new stars in the outer regions of the galaxy. It had hitherto been thought of that these areas lacked the materials necessary for star formation. So we're just reviewing it. And this is what it's called, Galaxy Evolution Explorer. If you look up the words Galex, G-A-L-E-X, you'll find it. It is an orbiting ultraviolet space telescope launched on April 28, 2003. It's used a Pegasus rocket, and it put it into a circular orbit and to an inclination to the Earth's equator of 29 degrees. The first observation was dedicated to the crew of the space shuttle Columbia and images the sky in the constellations Hercules. Taken on May 21st, 2003, this region was selected because it had been directly overhead the shuttle at the time of its last contact with the NASA Mission Control Center. So there's a picture of the Galex. That's what it looks like. That's an artist's impression of it, actually. And it's from NASA, JPL, and Caltech. It launched in 2003. I don't know if it's still up there or not. I didn't really look into that. Okay, so I wanted to show you some cool stuff about Messier. In Messier's objects are the set of astronomical objects catalogued by the French astronomer Charles Messier in his Catalogue des Nébuleuses et des Amas d'Étoiles, Catalogue of Nebulae and Star Clusters. It's originally published in 1771 with the last edition based on Messier's observation made in 1966. Because Messier was interested in finding only comets, he created a list of non-comet objects that frustrated his hunt for them. The compilation of this list in collaboration with his assistant, Pierre Méchain, there's the answer to that question. Yeah, they did know each other and they did work together, is known as the Messier Catalogue. This catalogue of objects is one of the most famous lists of astronomical objects, and many Messier objects are still referenced by their Messier number. The first edition included 45 objects, with Messier's final list totaling 103 objects. However, Messier 102 was not reported correctly, bringing the total to 102 objects. Other astronomers are using side notes, and Messier's text eventually filled out the list to 110 objects. So this is what I found on Wikipedia. It tells you about his objects. I said, wow, I found a star catalog. I was really excited about this because in my last video I was telling you when I first started going to Google Sky, I kept seeing all these silly numbers. And I didn't know what the heck they meant. It was NGC 1952, right? So I was like, what the hell is that, right? I thought it was planets. So I was all excited to find out it was stars. So this is his catalog of stars. This is what it looks like. I got this from Wiki. And you're going to freak out when you find out what he found. Anyways, example Messier's catalog of objects. This is what they look like. This is the one I looked up because it's the prettiest. And it comes up with this, right? So I click on that one, and what does it bring up? The supernova for Kepler. And then we are currently looking in the Kepler region right now as we speak. We have satellites going up there, and they found habitable planets. And what he thought was a star is actually a planet. So, this is the Kepler supernova. That's what it looks like. The description is X-ray, optical, and infrared composite of Kepler's supernova remnant. Okay. On October 9, 1604, sky watchers, including astronomer Johannes Kepler, spotted a new star in the western sky, rivaling the brilliance of nearby planets. Kepler's supernova was the last exploding supernova seen in our Milky Way galaxy. So it's the last one to have exploded, according to these notes that were posted in Wiki. I don't know if anything's changed since then, but observers only used their eyes to study it because the telescope had not yet been invented. I thought he was using telescopes to look at all these stars. So can you imagine how dedicated he was to actually take all these stars and catalog them? I don't know how he did it. He must have used some sort of maybe all the algebra and all the stuff that I've brought up, all the math that I brought up, maybe he used that stuff. Who knows? Had not yet been invented. Now astronomers have utilized NASA's 3 great observatories to analyze the supernova remnant in infrared, optical, and X-ray light. Now this is really cool because remember we were talking about spectrum, the different colors of spectrum, it tells you what's there. So this is what they found with their original satellites that they created a couple of years back. We've got new ones now which are better. So this is what they found back then though. Color code energy, blue X-ray 4 to 6 keV, Chandra X-ray observatory. The higher energy X-rays come primarily from the regions directly behind the shock front. Green X-ray 0.3. Okay, I'm not going to go for the numbers. Anyways, you can look at that on Wiki. Lower energy X-rays mark the location of the hot remains of the exploded star. And yellow optical, Hubble Space Telescope, the optical image reveals 10,000 degrees Celsius gas where the supernova shock wave is slamming into the densest regions of surrounding gas. Red infrared, the infrared image highlights microscopic dust particles swept up and heated by the supernova shock wave. So these observations were taken in June 2000, and the Hubble in August 2003, and the Spitzer in August 2004. So here we are in 2012. Just to show you how fast our technology has gone. We've gone from 8 years, in 8 years time, actually 12 years time if you go from the very beginning. In 12 years time we're actually out there looking at these planets. Well, we're not that close to them, but we're looking at these planets and finding a lot about them. Okay, so I'm at 11 minutes now. Hopefully I can get this done. Oh good, we'll get the last note. We're going to get this done. Okay, so this is 14C, right? So, my thoughts, January 15, 2012, 5:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My thoughts, the M1 NGC 1952 Supernova Remnant, Taurus, and guess what I find? Kepler's Remnant. Say what? Kepler 22b is the planet I started to work on at the very beginning of all this stuff. The WOW SETI signal actually came up into being while doing my research on my alien contact signal that I received. I sent a signal out December 6th through an alien satellite for the public. It's a fun thing. You send messages out to space, right? I did a meditation. I got a mathematical equation. I started researching the mathematical equation. I found out it came from the Maya, and they are in the Kepler region. They live there, or they have a UFO flying around up there. And then I started digging in and getting some research done, and then I came across this WOW SETI signal, which I didn't even know anything about. Yes, it's hard to believe. I am 45 years old and did not know anything about this signal. Never heard about it before. So then I started researching and started looking at the numbers, and then I found out no one had tried to decipher it for 30 years. So I thought, well, I'm going to have some fun with this and see what I find. And then I started finding stuff, and I'm like, this is freaky. So then I started video blogging it. So this is really awesome. So this is something else. I just read this and then did a big happy dance. I do a big happy dance in my office when I find something cool. So, okay, so my theory was that the Maya UFO aliens live in the Kepler region. Now we have a link from the WOW SETI signal from the math equation on line 14 that leads directly to the Kepler supernova discovered by Johannes Kepler on October 9th, 1604. Doesn't this just blow your mind? It does mine. Johannes Kepler now has a telescope named after him in January 2012 that SETI is sending out radio signals to outer space in hopes of being contacted by the aliens or UFOs that we've been seeing flying around our universe these many years. To find a link in this WOW signal to Kepler's telescope, which has been identified Kepler 22b planet as habitable, where I say the Maya are currently living in that solar system or have UFOs flying around in it. Wow, wow, wow. Haha. God, this makes me so excited. Woohoo! I'm doing my notes as I go along this time because there was really just one thing on this page. And when I first started the research, I only had one thing that I brought up. And then I ended up finding all these other 20 things. So I was really, the one thing was that SSL Pearl thing, which I didn't think was all that important. In video 15, I researched the word Pearl, and then I find out I'm wrong. I am so wrong. The word Pearl is a computer program that they use to catalog stars in our current in 2012. That's what they use now. I'm doing my notes as I go along this time because there was really just one thing on this page, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a short video. Yay! Then this little voice tells me to dig deeper. Follow the links and see what you find. I'm at 15 minutes, so you know. I'm glad I didn't stop, and I kept digging around. Each Google search teaches us what the words, symbols, stars, and comets are about. The names of them, pictures, and who discovered them from the early 17th century. It amazes me that we are here in 2012 and we are now discovering that the theories from these men who devoted their lives to searching the heavens with old telescopes, and now I found out I was wrong about that. They actually didn't have telescopes. They just used their eyes. Now man has been able to actually take a satellite and find out that the theories are a reality. Isn't that awesome? I think so. They saw it with the visual eye, and now NASA has developed satellite technology to get a closer look and evaluate the data along with the SETI Institute in 2012. Cool or what? I just realized something. In 1604, they thought they found a star, but now with his telescope in December 2011, they found out there's thousands of habitable planets there. Earth's twin, Kepler 22b. Sweet. So that ends that video, and next is line 15, and that's tied right in with this one.